This is a very, very, very good day. I've got an ex coworker with me. He's a retired firefighter, retired military man, and life is good. All I can say, I turned on to Facebook. I see this man out here surfing in Hawaii. I see him sailing the Pacific, and I'm thinking, man, I got to talk to this cat. So last week, one of our friends, one of our coworkers, Barbara Bechtel, I chatted with her, and she told me you were in town. And I'm thinking, man, this is the cat I need to talk to. And there are so many things I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about retirement, military, just life as it is right now for you and how you made the adjustment. So right now, introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
Yeah, Muncko Kruize, retired captain out of Station 10 for Miami-Dade Fire. Retired from the Hawaii Army National Guard after combined 35 years of military service, and bought this boat, something I've been contemplating since high school.
Wow.
And moved on board and decided to see if this was everything that I had dreamt it would be. And so far it is.
Outstanding. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for paying your taxes and supporting my retirement.
You got it. Trust me, I'm right behind you, man. So, first thing I want to say is, how long have you been retired?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. Okay, because last time I saw you, we talked about retirement. And I turned around and you're out on a boat. You're on a boat, you're sailing the Pacific, you're out there surfing in Hawaii. And I'm thinking, man, this cat here is living. He's living the life that some of us only dream of. So you are inspiring a lot of people. Okay. So what I want to know is, how did you prepare yourself for retirement?
Oh, well, I mean, I was born to be retired. And it just, sadly, it took this long. And luckily, along the way, I had two careers that didn't seem like work. But as I got older, crossing the 50 line, it dawned on me how incredibly important your time is and how you don't get it back. So, I was running through scenarios in my head about how I would live in retirement, for years. Doing the standard thing, padding the AFC with as much overtime as you can, maxing out your deferred comp, all pieces of advice that I got from senior firemen when I first got on the job. And when it came time to pull the trigger, COVID kind of was the forcing function. Class 73, class 74 got right on there 25 years in 2020. And, drop, stay. And it was time. COVID opened that window up for me and said, no, it's time to do what you really want to do. And I've been thinking about sailing and living on a boat ever since I was a junior in high school.
Is it everything you've dreamed of?
Nothing ever is.
Okay.
Nothing ever is. It's a lot of work. And it's a different headspace that you have to be in, to kind of different level of awareness, which is not unwelcoming. But there's always something that is going wrong. There's always something that you gotta fix that you didn't anticipate. So it's not exactly how I had envisioned it. In some ways it's better, because it's really rewarding when you actually exercise that true independence like that and are forced into a situation that is initially uncomfortable, but then you have to figure it out because there's nobody but you to do it, or you spend a lot of money. And that's very, very gratifying.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you miss firefighting? Do you miss the fellas? Do you miss?
Yeah, very much. The retirement function that we went to on January kind of really brought that into stark relief. The firehouse table, the job itself is very rewarding, obviously, because there's no really, serving others is rewarding in and of itself. But the firehouse table is one of those intangibles that comes with it that that doesn't exist in too many other places. And that level of support for each other and camaraderie, and even if you don't like these dudes, they're still there, or dudettes, there's still that level of connectivity between us all that doesn't really exist out here. It exists to a smaller to lesser degree within the cruising community, as I'm finding out, but not nearly as connected and intense as it is in the firehouse. So I miss it all the time. I wouldn't want to go back, because that would be going backwards.
Right.
But I do miss it. I miss it a lot, knowing, that I don't want to go back.
Right. Wow. Now, how many years were you a firefighter?
So I got credited for 25 years of fire service. I was on active duty for a number of those years. So, actual years is different than the 25, because, my active duty time just carried over.
Okay.
But 25 years.
Nice.
With the fire department.
Gotcha. Now let's talk about, we've seen a lot of things with your years on and my years on. We both have seen a lot of stuff, and right. PTSD is real. And a lot of guys don't want to talk about it. They bury it. A lot of guys may do some drinking. They may do a lot of partying just to try to escape it.
Yeah.
How did you escape it? How do you deal with your PTSD?
I bought a boat. All the above, healthy and unhealthy mechanisms were in play. Going back to the firehouse table, it should not be discounted how supportive that is, even without realizing it. Our manic sense of humor, our over the top kind of antics in the station, sometimes those are all manifestations of exactly what you're talking about. When I came back from being on active duty and I started being bid-in station captain, I made it a point, actually, whenever I worked, because I worked all over the place, I made it a point to tell any junior firefighters, unsolicited, because OGs are allowed to do that, that PTSD should be presumptive. If you've been on the job for more than a year, you have it, and that should be, until proven otherwise, that should be at least a personal approach to your own mental health. Bill Van Meter, when he was my EMT instructor, said something really, really wise, in that you're issued a garbage can when you get on the fire department, and you're going to see things, and they're going to end up in your garbage can, and you got to maintain it. And because if it overflows, and Bill was real, he's like, hey man, then you find yourself staring at a bottle of Jack Daniels and a pistol on the coffee table. And a lot of us have succumbed to that, sadly. But first, the level of awareness, senior cats like us, making sure that the junior guys know, hey, this is all right. There's no stigma here. This is all right. You got to deal with it, like Bill did for us in my EMT class. I'm forever grateful to him for that. And then make sure that that leadership environment is established, throughout the fire service,
right?
Where frank and open discussions are held at the table in an informal manner, and then as leadership, or as anyone in the fire department, anytime anything has a potential of even bothering you, leverage the CISD team that we have in place. I mean, I never hesitate to call them. I'd call them for anything. I was like, oh yeah, you know what, this might be affecting somebody, or this is affecting me, and I'd call them in. Just aggressively managing your mental health, because based on the assumption that PTSD is presumptive, aggressively managing your mental health just as aggressively as you manage your deferred comp or your overtime hours or your career path. You know, that should be an equal consideration, because while this is absolutely by far the most rewarding career that I can think of, it comes at a heavy price, both mental health wise and physical health wise. Everybody sees us retiring at 25 years and thinking, how awesome is it? But we pay in ways that other people who retire at age 65 and 70 and worked at IBM or Google for those years will never pay.
Absolutely. You know, I realized that I had PTSD after I left Station 11 in Miami Gardens. Brother, I experienced so much. And when I finally left Miami Gardens, it was hard for me to drive through Miami Gardens again. And every house I would see, I would sit here and say, wow, I had a shooting there, had a stabbing there, had a beating there, had a house fire there. And my mind would replay every scenario, every past experience. And I remember sitting at the red light on 27th Avenue, holding the steering wheel so tight. And I'm thinking, man, I got to get out of here. And before I knew it, I ran the red light. I got an expensive red light ticket, right? Mailed to me later. And I just realized, okay, I got to do something. I got to do something. And I think that's when I really started going deeper into traveling. And I found out that traveling became my escape. It became my meditation. It became my equalizer. I got a chance to unplug from the fire department, unplug from Miami, and just go. So I try to talk to guys now that are coming on and say, hey, man, find out what your passion is. Find out what your passion is and go do it. We have 5 days off every 3 weeks. Go and do something.
Absolutely. Concur, have something, and definitely have something before you retire.
Yes.
You know, definitely have something you're passionate about that you want to use you want to use your time for, because if you don't and you retire, even though we're used to having a lot of time off, which is a blessing, once you retire, you have even more time off and no structure at all.
Right.
So a lot of us have a hard time with that transition. I know I did. As awesome as it is still a huge transition. And, from my anecdotal research, it takes about a year, maybe 2 years. I'm finally settling in now after about a year, So, but that post, it's almost like it's akin to postpartum depression. Once you're removed from the network, the social professional network that is like no other, and it goes on without you, it's a transition. You feel it. It's known. Yeah.
See, I never thought about what it's going to be like once I leave. I just feel like once I retire, I'm out of here. Not that easy.
You don't realize how deep it goes until it's removed. Like I said, the intangible of the firehouse table. I keep referring back to that, but I think we both understand conceptually what I'm talking about. Just that entire environment where you take your meals together, you have your morning briefing there. If you're gonna have a conversation, dinner's been over for 2 hours and you're still sitting there bullshitting. Even like I said, even if it's an argument. Even if it's a discussion or it's contentious or whatever, because I've been known to stir some pots. It's this social construct that really is supportive. You belong. You're part of it.
Right.
And then you're not. And then even if you go visit the station, you're that retired dude that's going to the station. You're not a part of it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why the retiree dinners are actually so cool, because that's still your cohort. And anybody who's going there that might be still active is going, but he's going on your terms. So you're still made to feel like a part of. That's where that happens. I think that's why those things are really important. Wow. And the get-togethers and whatnot. And you need to at least consider that and be prepared for it, because it's going to hit. It hits all of us: cops, soldiers, firefighters. It's all the same.
Yeah, I remember being at 11 and seeing some of the retired guys would come by, like Ozzie Newsome. He would come by, hang out with us. He would even come by and sleep in the station and may want to run a call with us.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was missing it, but he had been retired for years.
Yep. No, you do miss it. You do miss it. But again, I've gone backwards in career progressions before, where I went, had progressed to a different level of performance and say management or whatever, and then been set back into, a job that I'd done already, or a position in life that I'd held already, and learned very quickly that no, it's got to be going forward. There's no going back. So this 25 years, this amazing 25 years of this career that I just lucked into, is a fond chapter that can be, remembered warmly and with a smile. But if I went back, it would never be the same, and it might taint the memory of what I do have. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah. So it's got to be forward. Now, I may never work again, or I may go get a job, and it'd probably be another public service job, like an emergency manager or something like that. So you're still kind of in the same arena, but you're not jumping on and off a truck, because I'm too old for that.
Right. Now that you're retired, have you considered doing anything similar or anything to assist some of your ex-co-workers or your military friends?
Yeah. So this is a long-term project for Walela, my boat.
Okay.
But I know sailing and being on the ocean can be healing and cathartic. And so one of the things I want to put together, and the pieces will come together as time goes on, is that, take passages on Walela, 4 or 5 of us, and create that environment that I used to create in the fire station, where, we're supportive of each other, we're sailing, we have the camaraderie, we're taking meals together, we're making the boat go from point A to point B, and using that time at sea, maybe a week, just to work some shit out.
Right.
Maybe have a mental health professional on board who's one of us, maybe not, depends, to be all situation independent, and with the permission of everybody on board, document it, put it on YouTube or some other venue, in order to provide, again, a broader kind of environment to show that, hey, look, these dudes are taking care of their business. They're taking care of their mental health in a way, and kind of capture those conversations as potentially a way to help other people work through it.
Nice.
Right. So I'd call that passages with a purpose, SV Walela.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Going places and doing things.
Now, earlier you spoke of how important that table is in the fire station. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We break bread together. We talk together. And it seems like that table is like the home. That's the house. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets together and we become family right there. Okay. Right. So as you're talking about your idea, I'm sitting here thinking, wow, you're taking the firehouse table and moving it to the boat.
Mm-hmm. Trying to.
Yeah, that's it. That's a beautiful idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Yeah, it's nice to do things for you, but it's always nicer to do things for other people. And finding a good balance between the two is a good way to go about doing things.
And so show me your cup.
So my best friend's wife made these for me for Christmas.
Okay.
I've got a set. This one's got the hummingbird, which is Walela is hummingbird in Cherokee. And then this one, of course, says captain on it because I'm the captain.
Captain.
And if you were to come have coffee with me and sitting across the table with me, you would have a cup just like this, but instead of captain here, it would say crew.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. My little personalized Christmas gift from Miss Tiffany Pfeiffer my best friend's wife.
All
So
right.
shout out to Tiffany. She makes these at home. So
does she have a business? A
I
website?
think so. I think so.
Okay.
I don't think she has a website. She's doing it for passion right now. I should have been prepared for this plug, but I'm not, sadly. But yeah, she's starting to do it as a business. So on the follow-up interview, when you catch me in Fiji, I have that website ready for you.
Man, I might be in Fiji with you. Hold on now, let's talk.
Well, so the thing is, everything's taking longer than I expected. So
Okay.
which is good, which is the right way to do it, because I'm way more prepared now after owning the boat for a year. I bought the boat right after I retired. Than I would have been last year to take off. And that didn't happen, which is, like I said, providence at work. So in the next year or two, as the boat gets her upgrades, et cetera, the first couple of trips are going to go to Mexico, into the Sea of Cortez. So, down the Mexican coast, around the Baja Peninsula, and up into the Sea of Cortez. Those are going to be the long trips. And so what you'll see is on Facebook through your platform, I'll put out a call for crew. And like I said, the first couple times, if it's just us, I know the PTSD thing will be there. I don't have to call up, and the call out for crew initially will be to us, and our friends. And so if, 3 or 4 people show up like, hey man, I'm moving the boat from San Diego to Cabo San Lucas. It's about a week, who's available to come down and, help me stock up the boat and sail it down there. We'll take care of that. And then the next trip will be actually from Cabo around the peninsula up into the Sea of Cortez. That might be 3 or 4 weeks later, and there'll be another call out for crew. So that's kind of how I envision it.
Okay.
We'll see how the universe supports it.
It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. Now, where have you sailed to so far?
Well, so I'm taking a kind of a military approach to this once I figured out how much I didn't know. Okay. I've been running boats. I ran boats for the fire department, small boats for the fire department. So boat handling itself is not really that much of an issue, but maintaining an ocean-going RV and the the procedures and the protocols for doing things, take some time to get used to. So to answer your question, I've sailed the boat down to Ensenada twice. Motor sailed. Sometimes the wind would die down, so we turn the engine on. And then we do both open ocean training as well as in the San Diego Bay. So I'll take the boat sailing once every week or once every couple of weeks, depending on what's going on maintenance wise. And we'll go out into the bay and we'll practice sailing, the art of sailing, not just getting the sails up, but getting the best point of speed out of this boat, and that's a skill and an art in and of itself. Just putting the sails up and making the boat move. Cool. That's fairly easy. And all that nuanced trimming and so on and so forth, that you could spend a lifetime mastering, making your sails as efficient as possible. So that's kind of a racing mentality, but it's always fun. So that's one way to do it. Then we'll go open ocean and we'll just do, just open ocean, and we'll throw lines out of the back and we'll sail along and do some fishing. I've hooked into a tuna, hooked into a shark, sadly lost my lure, but that's another training activity. Because again, everything that I do on my boat, even though it's vastly enjoyable, I consider training.
Right.
Sailing through the night is a different exercise. So we've done a training run like that where we did 48 hours of just moving. We headed to Catalina Island with 4 of us on the boat. We headed to Catalina Island with no intention of getting there. We got to within 10 miles of Catalina Island, did a 180 and headed back towards San Diego. But it took us 48 hours to do that. We weren't going fast because the purpose of that training evolution was, to set watches, to get used to watch standing. 4 people on board. This is the watch schedule. It starts at this time, starts at that time. Cooking on board, power management of the boat, because once you're off the dock, power is your batteries and how you maintain your batteries. And you're constantly doing these. Remember I said there's a different paradigm to living on a boat where there's a level of awareness that's higher required. Well, that's part of it. You're constantly like, okay, well, I'm going to turn on the microwave. That's going to draw this many amps. How's the sun? Is the solar producing? What's that putting it back into the battery? Am I going to have to run my engine in the next 2 or 3 hours or not? Things like that.
Okay.
And that takes practice and getting used to. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now,
they're little mundane things, but I'm sorry.
Do you recommend that someone like me go and take some selling classes and then come your way, or are you going to bring them in and teach us?
Yeah, no, I can. No, it's easy, bro.
Okay.
I can bring you in and teach you. You don't have to go take sailing classes. Once you've done it, once you've lived it for a day or so, you're in there. Okay. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Again, it's once you've shifted that mental gear and let's say, you've been on the boat, you come out you don't know anything. And there's tons of sailing channels that do this. The one that influenced me to buy this boat is SV Delos. There's a plug that's unsolicited for them. Sailing Delos, SV Delos is their YouTube channel. They have an ML Super Marimu, which is the bigger version of this boat. And they bring crew on board all the time for their YouTube channel, right? And they know, some of them know how to sail, a lot of them don't. Okay. If we were going to, let's say it's a year from now or 2 years from now, we're going to do a week-long passage. Guys show up at the airport, we pick them up, get them on the boat, give them a tour. We'll go sailing for a day in the bay, get everybody used to which line, and then we're off. Go to the grocery store, stock up on the things we need and cast off the lines. Okay. So yeah, it's fairly simple. And then you just learn as you go. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, look, keep me in tune.
All right, bro.
I am looking forward to it. I'll start watching YouTube videos and learn all I can. All right.
Check out SV Delos. There's a ton, bro.
Okay.
There's a ton. Mine, if I do this YouTube channel thing like you are, there are a couple of unique perspectives that I bring, but I'll be joining a good host of content creators that already exist. Okay. The unique aspect for us would be not that many people of color that are sailing and own boats.
Right.
There are plenty, but they're not that many compared to the larger community, if you follow what I'm saying. So, and I found only one other YouTube channel that was a Black couple, and I think they've since sold their boat. So if that kicks off, that would be something that would be kind of cool.
I was following that couple once before COVID started. I was following them and they disappeared.
Yeah, Sailing Dippity. The last one I saw about them was they were selling their boat. So I figured they were done. I they just dropped off. So there's a fairly unique opportunity here to show, people of color that, the art of the possible. You know what I'm saying? Just a regular schmo fireman, made a decent living and was able to pull it off. Hey. And there are guys out here doing it with tons more budget than I've got, but there are also people out there doing it with a lot smaller budgets than I've got. So it's the art of the possible, right? Let's get some more melanin out here. I'm alone. I'm lonely.
Start writing your book too. You've got a story to tell. All right, we'll get some more melanin out there for you, okay?
Yeah, all good.
Well, brother, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Is there any way our members can contact you if they have questions? Email, phone number?
Yeah, man. On Facebook, my Facebook name is Goudster Vader, which means Gold Star Father in Dutch. So, and that's an homage to my late son. Yeah, so you can reach me on Facebook. Same thing on Instagram. Send me a message, and I'll respond. Easy.
Gotcha. I'll make sure I put it in the link. Drop the link with the information on this post. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Good. You know what would be cool, man? This is a primarily African American kind of podcast you have. If we do a passage with like an all Black crew, like we used to have at 11 on A shift, that'd be kind of dope too.
Well, it's not an all Black group I have. It's very diverse. We've got up to
Okay.
96 countries represented in this Nomad group.
Well, then the next cruise will be a United Nations cruise. But
Uh-huh.
I would like to see. It wouldn't bother me at least if we had, a bunch of us melanin enhanced folks all kind of crewing together and doing a passage and documenting it and providing a visible example of us mastering yet another sport.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, my brother, I want to thank you again. Just thank you for your
All right,
time.
dude.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
what you're doing. Appreciate your service with the fire and the military. And just stay safe out there. Okay.
I'll do what I can. All right, man.
Bro.
Till you come on board, I'll see you next time. Absolutely. Please do.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, man.
All right. Bye. All right. Man, we are doing it. Oh, retirement is around the corner for some of us, and some of us are already retired. So let's go ahead and make those plans. You got to get your 5-year plan, get your 3-year plan, get your 1-year plan, and start working on it. But if you like what you hear, hey, go ahead and click, go ahead, subscribe, like, and join in and stay tuned because we've got more to come. Take care and have a great day.